Hey guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com talking about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. And I thought it would be a good time to do a little video about love because I haven't talked about that and romance and all that in a while. And what I wanted to chit chat about in a little more depth is when you keep having the same problem, you keep hitting the same roadblocks when it comes to love, or repelling love, or not receiving love, or having issues and drama related to love, romantic love, and what that means and how you can stop it. Now, I've thought a lot about fate and karma, and I've realized that some people, all of us actually have lessons we have to learn. While we are the creators of our own lives to an extent, there are bigger forces at play, fate, karma, destiny, that cause us to have to go through certain things. Now, that's not always the case though when you're having a problem. So it's like, how do you know if having this problem is your fate, and how do you know that it's not something that you can work on and transform and heal? And one of the biggest things that you can work on and transform is in the arena of love, because love is such a powerful force and such a strong I don't want to say thing, but deal. You know what I'm saying? That it is absolutely something that you can work through and work on. And there's a client I have who's beautiful, very full of life, very talented, wonderful woman, just incredible, so much fun, and a very beautiful spirit. Every time I see her spirit, it's so gorgeous. I don't talk to her in person, it's on the phone, and I connect into her soul at that level. That's how these readings and how clairvoyance and all that works at a distance. You don't have to be like right there to see someone's energy. And she keeps having the same problem with men. Like, it starts out great and then it crashes, and it crashes terribly, and she ends up getting very, very hurt. Even when she's like, okay, I just want it to be casual, even then she ends up getting hurt. And the core issue with her in this case was an unwillingness to, not unwillingness, but a block out related to love, to letting herself be loved. And the more we talked about it, the more she had this realization, like, oh, maybe I'm kind of afraid that if they do love me, and I don't want to be with them because I don't really know if I want to be in a relationship, that I'll hurt them and push them away. So that was an interesting thing that came up. And now everybody's different, but in this scenario, when she's working on now shifting that, on opening her heart, on really genuinely loving herself and trusting that it can be smooth and clear and clean. So we all want to be loved and treated respectfully. That was a big thing with her, that these guys were not being respectful. Once you start to work on that and to command it, or to feel like, okay, I am allowing that. This is what I expect. You'll start to change what is reflected back to you, and you'll start to see more harmony and more beauty in the relationships that come into your life. So that's one thing that you can change. And I want to actually take that and apply it to other patterns where you feel like you're banging your head against the wall, where the same thing keeps happening. You keep getting betrayed, or you keep having like a similar instance occur. And I know you've got to know what I'm talking about, because I've talked to so many people now over the years. Like, it's been over a decade that I've been doing this, and it's like the same thing keeps happening. It's like this and this and this and this and this. That, yeah, that's like sort of fate, that it's meant to happen. But that, when that happens, it's awesome, because then that's like that happening that much means that's something for you to work on and heal. And it's not hard work. Don't be afraid about it, or don't be worried about it. Don't get stressed about the work. The work itself is so soothing and healing. And it's essentially, you want to change your mindset, reprogram your subconscious mind, retrain your brain to think different thoughts, shift your expectations towards the positive, come face to face with your fears, look at what you're afraid of, and you don't have to conquer them, but you can talk to yourself about them, and you can soothe and calm yourself down. Because sometimes, and I know how big and scary these fears are, and sometimes they're so huge, they loom so large, that we let them take up such a big part of our consciousness and our energy that we bring more like similar things in. Like I have another client who's, again, a beautiful person inside and out, who keeps getting these guys that are cheaters and who are, betrayers. And that again became a pattern, like, okay, what's going on here? Clearly not every man on the face of the earth is like this. Like, why is this happening? In her case, it was about trust and about working on her self-esteem, which again is not work. It's fun because you start to shift and open your heart up to completely love and accept yourself. Then you'll bring in people who reflect that. So that kind of is the gist of what I'm talking about. Let me think if there are any other scenarios. One thing to be careful about is, I'm thinking of another client who has had issues in the romance department. It's twofold. One is, be very aware, if you can, of your thought patterns and your habitual ways of functioning. So this guy keeps being attracted to like women that aren't, like, he thinks they're better than they are. Not better than they are, I don't mean it like that, but he creates, and a lot of people do this through and through. They, in their mind, make the person something that they are not in reality. So you create them to be something that's more optimal than who they are, this fantasy version of that person, and you fall in love with or become obsessed with the fantasy version, and it's not the real person. So the more aware you are of what your habitual patterns are, the more you'll be able to very gently say to yourself, hey, like, oh wait, this is how I'm functioning. Let me take a few steps back and be very clean and clear. And in that case, like, kind of extract your emotions if you're able to, and be calm, and then work at shifting that pattern that way. You might also work with a therapist or a healer to get to the root of why you are kind of grounding into these patterns. Perhaps you're always with someone that is, to a certain extent, inaccessible. So it's like, yeah, you have these 5 different women, but each of the 5 is in one way or another repeating the exact same energetic imprint, or the whole exact same circumstance. So you're attracting the circumstance in the form of all these different people. That's, again, where it's like a pattern that you can break once you get to the crux of the problem. And then the core and crux of it might be something very deep within. It can be a belief, it can be early programming, it can be rooted in a past life issue, it can be a fear. Perhaps you create these instances where you're falling in love with people that are unavailable, and it won't ever work out because essentially the bottom line is you don't really want a relationship. You think you do, but you don't. And so you find a way to thwart it so it never does come to fruition, but you look like you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is what everybody tends to do, or society kind of promotes that we're all supposed to want to be in a relationship. I've talked to so many people that feel like they want one because that's what we're programmed to want. It's what our bodies are programmed to want. And when it comes down to it, like the reality of it, well, maybe they don't. Maybe it is more fun to be free, and that's okay. In this modern society, it's all right to want that. But if you think about that and you're like, well, maybe I'm creative, but then you're thinking, well, I really don't want to be single. I really do want to be with someone. And I've talked to a lot of people in that situation. In that case, all you need to do is work on the block, like the belief and the fear that you have that the person will be the wrong person, or that they will, your fear that it won't kind of work out, or that you'll have it and lose it, or there are so many different levels and layers and things that people need to work out. But and this is just like kind of the tip of the iceberg, but I did want to just address it a little bit and talk about the fact that with some simple exercises in loving yourself wholeheartedly, loving the people in the world, loving the world, and feeling like a trust that everything's going to be okay, you can change a lot and melt away a lot of this fear, and create more harmony and circumstances that are more in alignment with what your soul really wants. We all want to be loved, and it seems like it's like almost evil when we're here on earth, and love is something that's withdrawn, because love is such a powerful force that it's a shame that we're programmed that we can't have it, or we can't be loved, or we can't receive it and give it and have this like just really nice understanding, because that's all the bottom line, I think, of what most of us or all of us want, if I can be so presumptuous as to say we all want that, is to be loved and to be understood. And we all have this is a birthright that we all have, and we all have a right to that. So if you can just start to step into owning that, you can change a lot. And I hope that helps. If you like this, please hit the like button and subscribe if you stay to the end. Leave a comment below if you have any interesting comments about all of this. And if there are other topics, you can also put that in the comments below. If there are other topics and things you want me to chit chat about, I can tune in and ask my guides, or I can just speak from experience with all the different people I've worked with from all walks of life for quite a few years now. So for more info on classes, I know this is the very, very end, but I do have some Magnetize Your Soulmate workshop, and I have a free workshop if you go to my website and sign up for the email list. It's Release Your Blocks and Create the Life of Your Dreams, and other meditations and whatnot. It's all there at krishanti.com. And that is all for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.